Hey everybody, it's Jesse Lewis here. I'm with Michael Brody. This is the Six Figure Entertainer podcast, and you missed the best part of the show because you don't get to be in the back end. Um, Michael, you got to sit in the back end of the Scott McFall interview. Any thoughts?
Thank you for putting me right smack dab in the middle of that. No. Thank you so very much. I can't thank you more than I can right now. Um, it was. Are you still there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. Why did I feel like I've lost you?
Well, you'll never lose me in your heart.
God
Don't you?
bless you and your friends. I actually don't see you on my screen anymore.
Well, I see you perfectly fine. You're right there. I'm not sure what is going on here.
Well, I love you, Joe. Oh, there you are. Okay, I got it. I'm good. Okay,
So,
so yes, Scott McFall. He is incredibly brilliant, incredibly a mastermind in hypnosis. By the way, you were talking about being humble near the end of that conversation, and it is um, it is truly a humbling experience meeting people, my peers, and how incredible I feel and how lucky I feel meeting these people, and getting to know these people, and them getting to know me, because I am a very unique kind of guy to get used to. Okay, and I'm being quite serious because when I the first time I was I went to Hypnothoughts. Oh my God, 2015. I went to Hypnothoughts for the first time. Are we allowed to swear here?
well, fuck no.
Okay, as long as we're not. Okay, as long as I want to make sure these things. But I was scared, I was scared shitless. And the reason is because here are these big dynamos, they're incredible people of the business, and I am in awe of everyone. And I think, at that point I went, I was where I normally am outgoing and ready to go and speak my mind. I literally clammed up because I was intimidated. But then I actually kind of realized something. Why wouldn't I feel the exact same way as all those people? Because I deserve to be there. I'm learning. I'm learning from the best. I want to get better. I want to become a craftsman in my field. And so I learned that if I just opened my mouth and did and just talked, then people would go, "Oh, there's Michael Brody. Nice to meet him," and stuff like that. And then, all right, so I want you to know I do these interviews, and I want you to know that I will always refer to these next two people in every interview I do.
I'm going to pause. Do I know who they are?
Oh
Because I
yes,
bet you, I bet you, I'm really good friends with at least one of them, and so
go
are
for
you.
it. Oh
Richard
yeah.
Cole.
Well, Richard Cole is a yeah. Richard. All right, so there's three. Yeah. So yes,
Also,
Richard.
pause. Richard, if you're watching, bite me.
Yes, Richard, yes, you were definitely one in the top three, two, yeah. But it's stop it, Jesse. Thank you very
Yes,
much. All right, Richard Cole, Grant Saunders, and the late great Jim Kellner.
Jim Kellner.
Now, I want to explain something about this. I told you in 2015 I was incredibly shy, meeting all these famous people, and that's where I met Grant and Jim there at the first Michigan conference, Michigan hypnosis conference. That's where I met Richard and saw Jim and Grant. And did. It was my first time talking, doing a seminar, and it turned out that it was just us three, us four. It was myself, Richard, Grant, and Jim, and we just started talking and roundtabling and talking about different things. And I showed them one of my videos, and they go, and I told them, I came from an entertainment kind of background. They go, why don't you? Because I told you I was a puppeteer.
Puppeteer.
I was a puppeteer for 13 years. So I traveled around the country doing all this stuff. They go, why don't you ever combine puppetry with hypnosis? I said, yeah, but I've seen those kind of different things where, they have the monkey and then they do the voodoo doll and stuff like that. And they went, no, 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 you don't get it. Have the puppet hypnotize and do things with the clients or with the volunteers. I said, what a great idea. They go, if you don't, and Jim said this, if you don't, I will. And so the next thing you know, created a I created Norbert, the Martian stage hypnotist. And that's how he started. And so it's all because of those people who did this. Now Richard is also an amazing person, because Richard, being the Canadian hypnotist hero, literally asks me all these questions that makes me think about different things that I might want to do. So he kind of gently leads you in, but while he's doing it, he's pushing you into it. So I was just floored with all of them. And yes, Richard is one of my good friends. I love the kid. I love the guy. I love the kid.
I talk to Richard probably 4 times a week. It's crazy. Yeah, he's probably my best friend in the industry, and there's a reason. There's a reason he's doing the keynote. Yeah, he's not making $20,000 a show. Yeah, he's not world famous. The reason he's doing the keynote is because he's a hypnotist that people can actually relate to. Like I say about what Kevin says, that you want to find a mentor that is in what you want to do. I don't want to be Kevin. I don't want to be anybody doing 300 shows a year. I want to be like Richard, and I'm pretty close to being like Richard, to be honest.
Well,
yeah,
exactly. That's the key to the whole thing. See, I know it's hard to believe this, looking at me, because I do look like I'm 25. But the thing is that I'm freaking 63 years old.
Holy shit.
Thank you very much. I'm an
Michael, I thought we were the same age. I'm 40. Holy, I look like crap.
What the hell? No, you don't look like crap. You look great. In fact, Jesse, we're going to say that you look great because I look your age. So don't.
Okay, that works. That works.
All right. So I'm 63 years old, and I learned after a little while that it's our job is not to impress. My career, it boils down to a couple things: to entertain and to do the thing I love. And if you can't work, and if you can't do the thing you love while you're working, you're not giving your all.
Yes.
And when I do seminars, because I do seminars for high schools and colleges, and when I do these seminars, I literally say, I can honestly say that I've been playing for the last 33 years, 34 years. I play and get paid for it. That's it. I just joke around and do the thing I love, and I get paid for it. And it is a honor to do these kind of things, but it kind of rubs off, and that's the key to the whole thing, is if you can feel that sensation of being yourself, and giving to others, you'll get it back twice.
Absolutely.
So it's really kind of fun.
I find,
and I'm 40 years old.
Michael, I'm going to correct your language, because you're missing one thing. And I know this about you from a previous conversation. You're missing one thing in all of that. It's not just about the fun. It's not just about the entertainment.
It's about the money too.
It's the money. That comes. But
yes,
in your heart, I know the one word you're missing is you actually serve your clients. And that's
true.
I'm sorry for, I didn't mean to be mean. I didn't mean
Mm-mm.
this to go into a therapy part. I didn't want to do that.
No,
But you serve your clients. And that's what we as stage hypnotists need to understand. It is not about us swinging our gigantic watches around and pretending we've got this big ego. Please note the euphemism there. Uh, it
no,
is about serving people.
and
And
you're
yeah,
absolutely right.
yeah,
You are absolutely right because I mean, when people have a chance to literally bypass all the crap that goes on in their whole lives, all the stress
yeah,
that they feel in their whole life, that they, that they want to feel that they can just let go. And when that feeling feels, you bring out you help them bring out their inner child. I mean, who wouldn't want to be able to relive a happy memory and without any kind of stress or triggers or anything like that. And that and it also is like an self-esteem booster too. So yeah, you are right. And by the way, there are, I'm very fortunate that I'm very fortunate to say that there are people that I have trained. And one of the things that I trained them to do is to make sure that the people who volunteer are the stars of the show, not you.
yeah.
And so that's why when I do a show, I'm usually never in front when I'm
The
doing
only
suggestions.
only time I'm ever in front is if I'm doing a one-on-one skit and talking to the person,
Mhm.
or I'm doing my pre-talk.
Yep.
That's it. Otherwise, I am behind everybody, pointing things out, directing people. That's our job.
Yep.
And before we started, we talked about. I'm not sure what wording we used, but really, it's eliciting emotion and reaction from the audience. And that's what you're going to be talking about, is how to up your show is one of your talks that you're giving, right?
Correct.
So you're going to be talking about how to do some of that stuff. Let's give people a commercial about the two talks you're doing. You're doing one for speed inductions for on stage, right?
Correct.
Not street, even though they work in the street. Um, uh, we all know about who works in the street. I'm going to leave it at that. Sorry, street hypnotists. I have no problem with street hypnosis, but that's the joke, and it's easy.
I'm staying out of that one.
In both ways.
Amen.
Michael, I'm witty. You can't leave me open like that.
It's my job. It's my job. I'm
Um,
either a straight man or keep going. You're good. You're good.
so we're talking speed inductions and how to up your show. So let's go through the basics. Give me a 3-minute commercial or a 3-minute breakdown of what we're actually going to talk about during these.
Okay, so in one of the reasons why people do speed inductions is because the wow factor, the incredible factor, the oh my gosh, did you see what that happened? But the amazing thing is that people who come to see the show don't even realize that literally you're setting people up way ahead of time to go under hypnosis very fast. It's a hypnotist's job to look for people who are right brain creative people. There, I'm going to show people how you can tell when those people are right brain creative people. How you can tell very simply by either asking 5 questions or simply, but just by shaking their hand. You can actually shake someone's hand and find out if they are right brain or not. After we do that, this class right here is totally interactive. Basically, I have about 7 or 8 different, or a whole bunch of different kind of techniques, going from the hand drop, going from the different weights in the arms, going to hand clasp, magnetic fingers, whole bunch of different things. But we're also gonna do incredibly fast fractionation, all these different kinds of things. And some of them I mean, people have created, and then and by the way, it's always very important to give credit to those people. One of them is Rob McGroof. I've learned the Rob McGroof flip flop. I've also learned Tom Silver's wordless induction. That was incredible. When I first saw it, my jaw, and I'm a hypnotist for over 30 years, dropped. I went, "Oh, are you crazy? That's impossible." But he is, obviously a mastermind at this, and he's incredible. Oh my God! But I'm going to be talking about those kind of things. But the most important thing is that we're going to be working with each other, and we're going to absolutely have that opportunity to work with each other, get the training, and have practice with each other, and that's going to be one of the most important things for that. The other class is how to up your game. Now, Colin,
Chapman.
thank you.
He's
I
on
do it.
next. He's on next.
Okay. Hi, Colin Chapman. Colin Chapman, I believe, coined the phrase "comedy hypnotist." I love it. Brilliant, incredibly brilliant. Why? Because we are not just on the stage. We are interacting with people. We are setting rapport with people, between the people on stage and the people in the audience. So there's rapport at that. So how do you up your game? How do you up your show? By using all these different techniques, but with rapport, with sound effects, with props, with special interaction, just getting to the point where thinking, and this is really important, is to thinking about anything like a book. If you think about a book, that a book literally has ebbs and flows, and a theater in a movie has
I think of my
ebbs and
show as a 3-act play. That's how I always think about it, is a 3-act play, because that's how it
exactly.
should be. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Do you take them on a journey?
Exactly. And it's exactly what, and in fact, that's exactly what I tell people. I take them on a journey into their imagination. So, and I actually start the beginning of my show with pure imagination, from Willy Wonka. And I think it works very, very well. But the thing is that it sets the mood. I mean, and you're literally setting the mood before you even go on. And the minute you go on, you are setting the mood again. So if the object is to take them on a journey, have them interact, getting involved, and I'm not just talking about the people who are on stage, but the people who are also in the audience. Because if you get them involved, everybody's going to have fun, and that's what I'm going to do for both.
Let's talk about getting the audience actually interacting. One of the things I do, it's a gag. It's a sight gag, basically. It has nothing to do with hypnosis, but I get everybody to do this, and then I get them to do this. And then I say, well, if anybody is worried about looking embarrassed tonight, you don't have to worry anymore, because you just milked a gigantic imaginary cow. And it's a kid's joke, of course. It's the worst, corniest dad joke possible. But look at me. It fits who I am when I'm on that stage.
And that's exactly.
And of course, the old ladies are all hee hee hee, and the young ones are groaning. But you know what? It elicits an emotion. When you're trying to elicit reactions when you're on stage, we're going to get one thing, Micheal. We're not going to do all of them, but one thing that you do to elicit a reaction on stage, whether it's an actual thing or a tip that you have.
I start out, I always start out with, and I have no idea why this works so well, but it's one song that, I mean, before I go on, which is Celebration. And literally, whether you are a teenager or whether you are an old fart like me, people start going like this. And then what happens is I run on, but when I run on, I'm being myself. I'm being out, people are going to know when you're faking it. People are going to know, hey, it's right now, the blah, 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 blah. That they'll know, they'll see right through it. But if you're high energy, It's contagious. It literally is contagious. I tell people, and when I do seminars, I tell people, think of a professor coming in and talking on something. Could be anything, could be literally anything. And if they talk like this all the time, for some reason, your energy gets pumped up. It's because your endorphins start getting active, and they start, oh my gosh, and everything like that. But if you have a professor that talks today in biology, we'll be speaking of the lifespan of an amoeba.
Mhm.
The next thing you know, they're sleeping. So you're setting the tone. That is really, really, really important. I also learned something. I would love to pass this knowledge from Jim Kellner to everybody else listening, all the millions of people listening to your show
It'll be about
across the
12.
world.
It'll be about 12 by the time we're done.
12 million or just 12?
Just 12. 12
12, got
stage
it. Okay.
hypnotists. Let's face it, there's not many
Okay.
of them.
All right. It's close. All
Let's
right.
be
So
honest here.
all you 12 people who are listening, I want you to know, and this is literally from Jim Kellner. He goes to me, he goes, the way to get all the seats filled, no matter what, is to literally go, you've done your pre-talk, you've done everything like that, and the next thing you do, you play some music and you say, all right, we'll start the show when all the chairs are filled. And then you just sit back
And wait.
and wait. And you give it about 2 minutes and nobody comes up, and then all of a sudden they realize, oh, we're not going to start until all the chairs are filled
Mhm.
up. So that's when people come up. It's
That's a genius tip.
brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Because we've
Jim
all been
Kellner.
through it where we play the song to get people into the chairs, and then 3/4 of the way through the song you're like, oh shit, nobody's coming up, and you add to the pre-talk, oh, hypnosis for an hour relieves, it feels like 8 hours of sleep. The smarter you are, the better looking you are, the more creative you are,
Right.
it's easier to go in, and then you get the volunteers. But it almost looks like begging, and that's not a good way to start a show from a power place.
Mm-mm.
I want to talk to you about a concept that I have that I've used. You talk about coming on high energy, and we're colleagues, so we're actually going to have a conversation about this in front of everybody. Who cares?
That's right.
So sometimes I will get put on after an award ceremony, and you know how award ceremonies are. They are the most dull thing there is. And I find that if I go on stage with all that energy, there's a disconnect between the two, because here's hypnotist Jesse Lewis, and I come out, and if I'm jumping around, what I do is, ladies and gentlemen, that was a wonderful bunch of awards. Let's give them one big round of applause before we start the show. As you can see, I'm so used to having the microphone there.
Mhm.
And then I say, I know that was a little bit lower energy than what we're going to need for the show. Does anybody know who Ric Flair is? And this is a dated reference. But you know what happens as soon as I say that? What comes from the
Oh
audience,
yeah.
Michael?
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Woo, yep.
Yeah, you get the woo. And I say, okay, at least a few of you know what the woo is. Now I'm very down. I want to make sure that this is a great show. So everybody in the audience, I'm going to get you to woo me and get that energy up for all of us. And
I like that.
I will have the entire audience go woo. And what does that do? It's not a high energy thing where I'm coming on with high energy. I'm turning that walk on into a high energy walk on. Does that make sense at all? Like,
Absolutely, because what you're doing
yeah,
is you're connecting with them, because
it's a
you
bridge.
absolutely, because you're and then you're establishing rapport. Because what you're doing, you're absolutely, and trust me, I've been in that situation, especially when you go to Christmas parties.
Christmas parties, the
Yep.
worst, the best shows you'll ever do, but also some of the hardest you'll ever do if you're following the
I
bloody
absolutely,
awards.
trust me, I absolutely agree with that. I've been there too many times. And so it's your job, and especially because these people have no idea who you are. And the worst part, the worst shows you can ever do are the ones that the host don't tell the people that
Yeah.
you're a hypnotist. And so now you have to start totally over, and you have to start absolutely fresh, trying to get these people to go, you know, it's okay to let down your guard and have fun and stuff like that. And here, and you know, milking a cow will show you exactly how.
That's exactly it.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
Um,
I get. By the way, if it's okay with you, I'll be clear. I would love to use something
you
like that.
take whatever you want from me. I don't care. The only thing that I have trademark on is my drag racing unicorn. So so I trademark that. Don't ask.
You know,
Now
I'll ask,
you're
no,
thinking,
I'm going
drag
to ask
racing
you, but it's
unicorn.
going to be at PHS. I want to know. I want to know the whole story, dude. And
Here's
the
another
funny thing is,
one for you.
yeah,
Um, did you know that the pregnancy skid is faux pas now? But did you know that unicorns breed only with human males using fungus when they explode? Just so you know.
ow, ow.
Because if it's
I,
not a human baby, it's a unicorn baby. There's a big difference.
good to know.
Anyway,
If I ever need fun facts of male unicorns.
anyway, let's get back on track. I'm sorry for interrupting you. I said we'd conversate.
I forgot. I don't mind this going out like this. It's okay. Because I mean, let's face it, we're all here for fun, and we're all here for learning and experiencing all these different things. And that's the reason why I go to conferences. I mean, I go to conferences so people can see my side of what I'm looking for to how I approach it, and then I'm looking for how other people. So maybe we can kind of, you know, melt different things into one and make it my own, or and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, uh, the more fun you have, the better it is for me. I'm all in for fun. That's how it works. So unicorns be damned. Okay.
so so Michael, you're going through, well, let's talk about mindset hypnosis.
Yes.
You do a live streaming show. It was once a week. How often are you doing it now?
It is absolutely still once a week. So I am for some all right, I told you that I've been doing theater for who knows how long, right?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I'm still doing theater. And I'm either incredibly brilliant or I'm the most idiotic person I've ever met in my entire life, because I'm absolutely directing 3 shows at the same time. So now not only am I burning candles at both ends, but in the middle somewhere
Middle.
and stuff like that. So where I normally have done it live with an audience every week on Mondays at 7 p.m. I'm now doing almost like an on demand. I have a new show every Monday. So if you check it out on Mondays, if you go to Facebook and look under Mindsight Hypnosis, you'll find it. Or you can go to YouTube and you'll find it over there too. So and it's called Mind Sight Hypnosis, and basically what it is, it's for the hypnotists of all ages, whether you're a professional or just starting out. I kind of do it almost like a David Letterman talk show, where I create different kinds of segments together and make people and have people laugh, but have people think about different things. And we talk about a different subject all the time. So I've done something where we talk about abreactions. We talk about if something goes wrong, if you plan to do something and the person doesn't do it, what do you do? That kind of situation. I talk about pre-talks. I talk about chain reactions. I talk about final things. I talk about talking about ebb and flow. I talk about rapport. All these different kinds of things that deal with not just hypnosis, but also not just comedy hypnosis, but also hypnosis too. So
Absolutely. Well, you know, we talked about Colin before and Colin's stance on comedy hypnosis.
mhm.
I am one of the proponents that's actually against that. Now,
Okay.
I'm going to explain why, and I want your thought process. As a 30-year vet, you have probably better thoughts than I do. I've only been doing this for 20 years. My thought is that the hypnosis show, whether it's stage hypnosis or comedy hypnosis, you can call it whatever you want, is not just about comedy. There is so many other layers that we can put in there. For instance, my show, the last 6 minutes of it is not comedy in any way, shape, or form. It is specifically designed. Yes, it's funny, but it's designed to be motivational. They're still doing a coloring book skit and they're still doing stuff, but it's meant to be motivational. It's meant to elicit a response where they're proud of themselves and of the things they've done in the past, which is why I go against calling it just a comedy hypnosis show and say it's a stage hypnosis show. Whether we have a stage or not is irrelevant. What are your thoughts on that? Does just the comedy suit that?
So
That
so here's the thing. I agree with that kind of situation, but I also think that somewhere in your shows, everyone is going to experience a situation where you help people out to elicit a self-confidence feeling. I do something where I do an okie dokie sign. And when you do the okie dokie sign, it's the most happiest moment you've ever had in your entire life. You feel incredibly happy. You feel unbelievable. You feel fantastic. Biggest, shit-eating, grinning smile you've ever had in your entire life. And if you have two of them, you feel even crazier, even happier, and fun stuff like
Did I lose you, Michael?
that. And the minute you let go of it, but you feel incredible. So so you leave them with gifts. That in fact, that is what I how I bring people up there. I literally say, I am here to ply you with gifts. And they all go, oh, gifts, oh, brand new card, no, but all these different kinds of things. But the thing is, what is the key element that ties everything together? Now, for me, it's comedy because
Okay.
and it's more interactive kind of comedy. So I'm actually talking to the person, getting to know that person. How do you feel? I don't need to know how happy you feel. I don't need to know what it is, but I want you to times it by 10, times it by 100. Oh my gosh. In fact, when you look at me, you even feel happier. And you go crazy. And then you also make those expressions too. So again, I'm helping them elicit it even more, but it's not me doing it for them. I'm showing them how to even increase it even more. So when I first started out, I remember watching a lot of hypnotists, and they would have a segment on, let me show you how to not smoke anymore. And they would do negative hypnosis, and everything and the cigarette would taste like shit after a while and stuff like that. And so I understand that. I understand that concept. It doesn't last, but I understand
No,
that concept.
no.
I went to myself, why don't I incorporate in my shows, throughout my show, something that will make them remember this show for a long, long time?
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, and not just one, but a couple of the different kind of suggestions are to make them feel confident, make them feel self-worthy, make them feel proud of themselves, family, or having that family feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and all the way throughout the thing. Such as there's a section I do where one person sees their long lost aunt, and who's in the audience. So again, I bridge the audience. I break the fourth wall.
Mm-hmm.
And they see their aunt who they haven't seen in years, and she's moved to England, and whatever comes out of her mouth it's British. And so you want to fit in, so you want to speak British with her because you want to connect with her. And every time you finish a sentence, you finish out with pip pip cheerio. and the tears are rolling down people's
Mhm.
eyes when they're doing that, and they feel incredibly happy. And I do those kind of different things. I do where people feel incredibly happy, laughing, different kinds of things that they can bring it through. But my message is thinking of it like this. Whenever I see sunshine, I mean pure sunshine,
Mhm.
I feel relaxed, I feel great, I feel renewed. Whenever it's a stormy day and the sun is not out, I feel drained, I feel tired, I feel like I don't want to do anything. So what I'm trying to do in my show is I'm trying to give them an opportunity to, even in a stormy day, to think of the sunshine,
Mhm.
and they can tap back into that. Because I will honestly tell you, I've gone to I'll tell you a high school story, where I hypnotized a kid who was in ninth grade and came back in 12th grade 3 years later, and I hypnotized that person even faster than what, and she remembered everything about it, and she remembered every single experience, and it was 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times even stronger. So um it is it is the hypnotist's interpretation of what they want to accomplish in a show, what they want to what kind of message they want to bring through the show. For me, it's tying comedy, because I think, because the crap when I was a younger kid, everybody has all these different stories,
Yeah.
but I know that comedy and I know that humor helped me out immeasurably. And so that is what I want to pass on to other people. It's like a legacy. I want to pass on that to other people.
The reason I asked you that question is because he would like every stage hypnotist to rebrand as a comedy hypnotist.
That's up to that. I think
That's
that's
up to
totally
them.
up to the person.
I know, I know, but that's what he was talking about.
I
That
know.
the comedy has to be there. Um, for me, what you're talking about is a motivational comedy hypnosis show, and I'm not saying that we should rebrand to that, but I do probably a lot of the similar things as you. Um, Me and Richard, we talked because I do. It's called Dreams Coming True. At the very end, I get them to imagine a coloring book, and there's a balloon rising. That balloon goes into my light and heavy hands at the very beginning of the show. You're talking about a roller coaster, and there's a tie-in back to the very beginning of the show. I also get them to watch a movie where they're watching the movie, they're doing the funny skits, but at the end of the movie, it's a story about how this is everyone's life. We all go through happy times, we all go through sad times, we go through times where we want to run over our ex with a combine. I took that one out, but we all go
Smart
through
move. Very smart move.
relationships that didn't work out is usually how it works. And then we all go through scary times where we're unsure of ourselves. And there's times when we're bored, and that's throughout the movie. And then the color of the credits comes up, and it's the same color as the balloon. It's tied in throughout the show. And I use that color at the very end to say, anytime you'll see this color, it's the same as this. Anytime in the future you see this color, you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to have more motivation. You're going to realize you're just as good as anybody else and that you're
Mhm.
proud of yourself.
Mhm.
And for me, personally, it's not always about the comedy. It's about comedy for the audience, yes, but giving them that gift that you talk about
Mhm.
is so bloody powerful. It's so powerful and so motivational. And I've Tanner hired me like 2 years ago for a party. He had seen me in high school 15 years before that, and he said,
Mhm.
"Jesse, because of the thing you did at the end of the show, I want that for my group." So, and these are adults now.
Mhm.
So he brought me in. He paid me a good fee, and we had a great Christmas party. I think that that's missing from a lot of hypnotists that just focus on the comedy, that they don't have the drama happening in their show. They don't have the little tweaks. If it's just comedy all the time, yeah, it's funny, but is that enough? Is that bringing it to the next level? Um,
You're right.
your speech on how to up your show, I assume, is going to talk about some of these things. And I'm sorry if I'm going to make you rewrite anything. I apologize, but
Never. But by the way, Jesse, never, never, ever apologize for for what you're thinking and everything like that. Because honestly, it's great material, and it should be told to other people. Absolutely, absolutely.
it,
Of course, I'm going to steal everything of yours. Of course, no
go
problem.
ahead. Go ahead. The only thing that I go back to, you watch the old Johnny Carson. It's not all comedy. There's drama
Right.
there. You watch everyone's gotten really niche in what they do, and I saw some of the guys come out with the mystery hypnosis show. There's a place for that as well, talking about the mystery of hypnosis and making it more of a lecture.
Mhm.
I'm not sure where I'm going with this. Let's talk about your rebranding. I'm sorry I got off topic, Michael.
No, no,
I love
it's
speaking with
it's
other
interesting.
hypnotists because it makes my juices flow.
And that's okay. And do me a favor, okay? I mean, I'm gonna be. I don't know how long you're going to be at PHS, but I am going to be there for a couple days before and a day after.
Me
So
too.
damn well I'm going to talk with you about this. I really, and obviously, you are so amazing and so flexible that a lot of people want to literally talk to you about it. I heard Scott McFall you're going to talk about, and
Yeah.
I'm sure Colin you're going to talk to. But yeah, I would absolutely love to talk to you about these different things, and how we both can grow with it. And how not just you and I, but
Just
how
expand it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it, it I always say this, that hypnosis is an out of the box experience. It has nothing to do with inside the box. It's always looking outside, trying to figure out different ways to accomplish something that you're looking forward to do. Um, and I honestly believe that. And I honestly believe that it deals with your personality. That your personality will shape the way that box looks.
Yeah.
So absolutely, absolutely 100%. So
Let's talk about.
I'm on board.
We're at 42 minutes, which is way over time than what you signed up for. I'm telling you right now, too bad. Do you have any appointments in the next 5 minutes?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
Let's talk about your rebranding
Yes.
as America's fastest hypnotist. What does that mean? And I'm going to ask you an even mean question,
I love
because
mean
I don't
questions.
understand. What does it mean to be America's fastest, and how does this benefit your clients?
Okay. So I'm going
That was
to.
mean.
No, it's not mean. I have to figure out how to say this. So this is the way this worked. I am working right now with a person who is not a client, but he found me. This is very, very strange. He found me um on Messenger, and he goes, "I hear you're a hypnotist in Michigan. I'd love to talk to you about hypnosis." And of course, that's a trigger for me. I don't
Yep.
even know the guy, and I literally went, "Okay, fine, let's do it." It could have been a
Yep.
mass murderer. I don't care. Okay, fine, let's talk. But anyways, I found out that he wanted to learn hypnosis, so I said, "Sure, I'll be glad to." And he lives about 30 minutes away from me. So I said, "Sure, feel free to join me on any of the demonstrations." I didn't know he was going to join me on every demonstration that I did. Okay, it
I'm
was
sorry.
not. Wait, no, wait, and you got to understand, I do about 50 demonstrations, and he followed me last year on every one of them.
Okay.
And the way he learns, and he's an analytical person, and the way he learns is to watch. And normally what I do is I charge a certain fee to teach my methods. He goes, I just
Mhm.
want to watch and take what I can take. I said, well, what do you do for a living? He goes, I'm into marketing. I went, marketing? Oh, interesting.
Mhm.
And he's very good in marketing. So he noticed that I was dropping people right and left when I first started, especially teaching, especially doing high school and colleges
Mhm.
on psychology classes on just how hypnosis works, the chemicals that are induced when you're doing that. Anyways, I hypnotize people very fast. I mean, literally right to their at their tables, and they would go on. He goes, "My God, you are the world's fastest hypnotist." I said, "No, I'm not." I said,
No,
"The
that's
world."
Sean.
I said, "That's exactly what I said." I said, "The world's fastest hypnotist is Shawn Michael Andrews," and he goes, "Oh, let me check it out." He goes, "Yeah, you're pretty fast, Mike." He goes, "But you do something that I don't know if Shawn does." I said, "Well, what's that?" He goes, "You're doing 50 demonstrations or 50 schools, 50 either universities or colleges or high
Yeah.
schools, and you do probably like 3 or 4 classes a day for that. And so you're hypnotizing like tens of thousands of people all within the year,
Yeah.
and you're doing it that fast." I said, he goes, "I'm going to rebrand you." He said, "I'm going to name you America's fastest hypnotist because, obviously you can't be the world. So you might as well be America's fastest hypnotist." So I said, okay. And he started rebranding me and getting me all these different kinds of opportunities. And so I literally have become, I got an EPK,
Mhm.
electronic press kit, and we rebranded it as America's fastest hypnotist. And I've gotten a lot of opportunities to use that. Now, here's what I also need to talk to you about. Yes, I am a comedy hypnotist.
Mhm.
Or in your situation, yes, I am a hypnotist, a stage hypnotist.
Yep.
I used to have clients. I used to have a an office. Um, One of the things I know I'm good at is entertaining. One of the things I know I'm horrible at is publicity, and getting the word out.
Mhm.
And so within about 2 years, that uh, career that I had, I just stopped, and it was called Mindsight Hypnosis, by the way.
Mhm.
So, um, but I still do pain reduction, and I help people word of mouth pain reduction. So, when you're talking about clients, I have I don't really don't have any kind of steady clients. I don't have a lot of clients.
Mhm.
Um, uh, and I don't know if I really want to, because I don't want to be I want to use my comedy for that
Yeah.
kind of healing. And that's
So
where I'm at.
so I'll pause you. When I talk clients, I'm never ever talking about hypnotherapy clients because I
Mhm.
never do therapy. It's
Got it.
always the hypnosis show that I've done. So those are my clients. The
Okay,
book.
good.
Yeah.
I feel much better now. Thank you. Have a
Yes.
nice day.
So I just wanted to clarify because I wasn't sure where we were
Okay.
headed, but yeah, it's literally just my show clients that I'm
Sure.
talking about.
All
Yeah.
right. So I forgot your question now.
The rebranding. How does it serve those
Got it.
clients
So how
specifically?
does it serve those clients? Well, first of all, it attracts their attention.
Okay.
Minute it attracts their attention, they go, America's fastest hypnotist. I've got to find out what that's all about. When I've already created about 4 or 5 sizzle reels, very short things that either have to do with how I hypnotize people, how fast I hypnotize people,
Hmm.
on stage or in the audience. Literally, I mean, I'll go into the audience, knock them out right there, bring them up, and then go deeper.
Yeah.
We'll do that. They find that incredibly interesting. They find that they want to know more. And then I also have sizzle reels on my show itself. So they get the whole package of it, so they understand what they're getting. So
Okay, that's fair. Um, the reason I ask is because it's great branding, right? If you were doing a public show, that's great for a poster. It's great to get people in the door. Um,
mhm.
as a title, I get it. Um, as serving a client, I don't know how it actually. I guess as the title, it differentiates you more than
So
anything else.
how does it serve the client? It serves the client in a couple ways. And it depends. If I am doing a fundraiser and they go, oh, ladies and gentlemen, we've got America's fastest hypnotist. All of a sudden, you've now piqued people's interest about
Yes.
that. So they're now going, oh, I want to see what America's fastest hypnotist. I'm going to buy a ticket on that. That's more of a alluring tool
Yeah.
to
Okay.
get people. Yeah.
I always ask about this because I've seen people use branding specifically in that way for public shows.
Mhm.
In the markets I'm in, I wouldn't be able to serve my clients that way, if that makes any sense. And our markets are different, and make no qualms about it, they're very different. We've actually talked about this before, and about reasons you do things certain ways and reasons I do certain things certain ways. And that's the beauty of PHS, everybody. It's that we can have an actual intelligent conversation about this and understand some mindset. And I'll be honest, when I first met you, Michael, I looked at your website and I said, "What the flying hell is he doing?" And you remember this because I kind of called you out on it. And Dennis, our friend, kind of put us together. And you explained it to me so it actually made sense for what you're doing, because in my marketing and what I do, it would not have made sense in any way to do some of those things. But for you, it did. And that's how we grow. Michael, we're at 51 minutes. And I've got Colin coming on in like 4 minutes. And
Uh-oh.
I know we're going to sit down at PHS and Performing Hypnosis Summit, everybody. There's a link in the description of this. Michael, closing thoughts. We've got 3 minutes to do them.
Closing thoughts. I will honestly tell you, people out there in Jesse Lewis land, that it was an honor to meet Jesse. It was always thought provoking. He is a perfect host. No, shut up, shut up. You are a perfect. You are. Hey, I'm an old fart. You're a perfect host. Stop it. All right. He's a perfect. Hey, mind your elders, dude. I'm at 2.5 minutes now. Okay.
Okay.
So he's a perfect host. He has great thoughts. He makes you think about certain things, and he has long, luxurious hair, just like I do.
You got it.
It's the way I part it right in the middle. I know. In fact, I'm blinding half the audience. Okay.
I'm sorry,
Anyway,
Michael.
anyways, um, what's amazing about this is that he also understands other hypnotists too. He appreciates other hypnotists. I appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk about hypnosis, a thing I love, with all of you. If you are interested in learning more about my thoughts on hypnosis, go and see Mindsight Hypnosis. Every new show every Monday. Again, it's on Facebook. It's also on YouTube. If you could just go to Mindsight Hypnosis. I also will say, if you're coming to PHS, come visit us. Come talk to me. I'd be glad to talk to you and have a cup of coffee and maybe some whiskey in it. And I'm not stupid there. Okay. But it is a it I feel incredibly fortunate to get to know these people. And uh my wife is she always says that she's my number one fan, and sometimes it's hard to understand, and it really is. Sometimes it's very hard to understand that your name has been out there and people have heard about you and stuff like that. And I'm honored to say that I've been doing it for so long. People go, "Oh my God, that Michael Brody. I don't know if I can handle him anymore. Oh my gosh, he's too Fabio looking like." I don't know, but I want to thank you, Jesse, for inviting me on, and Colin. I love
He's
you,
not here
buddy.
yet.
I know. Well, never mind. Have a nice day.
Okay.
Um, that's it.
You know, Michael, before I end, he might come on, but we're all good. Before I end, I want to bring out a big myth that we have in this industry, or a big issue we have in this industry, and we had it before PHS specifically. And I'm
Let me
not
be
talking
clear.
about the hypnosis industry. I'm talking specifically the stage hypnotist industry. There was a time when 12 guys controlled the entire industry.
Mhm,
And there's a couple of those guys that are still around, don't get me
mhm,
wrong. In my opinion, that was a failure on their part
mhm,
because they were only learning from 12 other people.
mhm,
We have the opportunity. There's probably less than 100 of us that are actually making a living doing this. We have an opportunity to bring in the new people who bring in new ideas, and yeah, they're gonna fuck up. Guess what we did when we started too? We fucked up.
quite way too many times, yeah.
We have the opportunity now to bring them in, to teach them stagecraft, because that's something we're sorely missing in this industry. We have the opportunity to teach them that. We have the opportunity to teach them the marketing that has worked in the past and what's working now and into the future. And on top of that, we have the opportunity to tell them what appropriate prices for different markets are.
Markets.
Now, I know one of your stories where you got paid $400 and an agent was taking like $2,000. I've heard this story before. And I'd like to kick that agent in the balls. That's the truth. We have all, as hypnotists, had that happen to us from other hypnotists. And one of my missions in this is to call out the fucking douchebags. Sorry for swearing, everybody. Or at least make it aware to new hypnotists that they shouldn't be working for, they should ask what the agent is getting, right? If it's not an appropriate fee. So I want to thank you for coming on. I want to talk to you about that story at some point. Maybe we'll put wrestling masks on and do a podcast about it and say actual names. But I
Absolutely.
do want to thank you for this, because through us discussing our differences and me understanding your actual situation and why you're charging the rates you charge and why I charge the rates I charge, we
Mhm.
actually grow. And why you do stuff on stage, the way you do it and the way I do it, and the way Colin does it, or the way uh, Scott McFall does it, or whoever it is, we all learn. So anybody who's watching, come on out to PHS. It's both online and live in Las Vegas. If you come to Las Vegas, we can swing our watches around together. It'll be fantastic. Uh,
My
Michael,
watch is
thank you
bigger
so
than
much.
yours.
I use it as a euphemism for ego.
Oh,
That's
okay,
all.
okay. I was hoping you'd say it was ego. Okay, good.
But Michael, thank you so much. Everybody, check out Mindsight Hypnosis. I've watched it a couple times. We're all busy professionals, but I've watched it a couple times, and there is huge value there. Huge value. So go over there, watch Mindsight. Michael, thank you very much, and that's the end of the show.
Take care.